My video for January the 28th, 2018 is entitled True or False? Trump Thwarts New World Order Plan for Hegemony. You may ask, what is hegemony? It's the desire for a state of political, economic, and military control by one nation or group over others. The plan of the elite has long been to establish total control over humanity worldwide. That's what the New World Order has been about. From my perspective, it is an evil, demonic plan that was being implemented by the so-called House of Rothschild since the 18th century. The Bush, Clinton, Obama crime families have been the recent facade of this arrangement to have a small group take over the entire world and rule it for profit and power. In short, complete dominance of humanity. On the other hand, Donald Trump's vision is to make all countries able to prosper independently of one another. No new world order. Is this why the controlled media has been so opposed? While I still have reservations, that just may be the case. He may have thwarted their plan, putting the elite in a less tenable position to accomplish their global power grab. As I've said in several videos now, Donald Trump is an enigma to me. I'd like to see some of the things that he's talking about, which is why a lot of my friends support Donald Trump and see him as some kind of at least an interim savior. I look for a world where we don't need money anymore. I look for a world where there's no need for war anymore. I'm an idealist. I have long had a vision of the kingdom of heaven on earth. What Donald Trump has been working on is not that. Now, it's interesting. I listened to his speech in Davos, Switzerland. I listened to it last night before I went to bed. And I must say, I agree with a lot of what he was saying. And the fact that so many, quote, insiders have opposed him is because he wants all nations to prosper, and he made that clear in his speech. People that don't resonate with that, to me, have an ulterior motive that I said is demonic, evil, whatever label, negative label you want to put on it. It is not something that is beneficial for all of us. It's only beneficial for a small inside group that considers itself superior to everyone else. Now, who considers themselves superior to everyone else? Not a loving God. A loving God does not see himself as superior to anybody, because love doesn't see itself as dominant. It sees itself as service-oriented, wanting the highest and best for everyone, not control of everyone. The demons, the Satanists, the cabal, pick your label. It doesn't really matter what the label is. Those that want control over everyone and want to dominate everyone else have a dark agenda. It is not an agenda that leads to freedom. It's an agenda that leads to total slavery, total bondage, total control. I don't want to be controlled. I don't want to live on a planet where malevolent beings are in control. I've already seen things in my own experience, my personal experience of how the system robs from people and takes our ability away from us to be free and to exercise and implement things that will be beneficial for others. I have never been someone that seeks power. Yes, I was the Secretary of State in the Florida Republic, but it wasn't for power. I was actually invited, drafted, if you will, to join that movement, which was, as I saw it, to make people free, to give people back the natural rights that Thomas Jefferson and others in the founding of the United States enumerated, and they got a lot of that from the Iroquois and other Eastern Native American, referred to as Indian tribes, living in what became the United States. It is so, we have been so lied to, and the game plan has been to deceive us and to thwart the thing that was set in motion with the American Revolution and with some of the dreamers like Jefferson. And I think he was one of the top ones. But Trump may be implementing some of the initial vision, if you will, of our founding fathers. And I'm not talking about Alexander Hamilton and others that were plants by England. England has been part of the problem because England has been controlled since the early 17th century by Nathan Rothschild and his 5 sons. That has been the face of the movement going back into the 18th century, the 1700s. If I said 17th century, I misspoke. In any case, folks, we need to wake up as a family. We need to stop fighting each other. We need to find ways to cooperate, not claim superiority. I get so frustrated with people and groups that are playing a role in liberating humanity and yet fight each other because they say, well, that group doesn't have this right, or another group doesn't have that right. And so we don't come together. We don't practice the only thing that can liberate us, and that is to tell the truth and to the best of our ability to at least show compassion for one another and listen to each other. That's been my message all along. If you've been listening, yes, there's been messages that have been where I've been very frustrated, very upset with things that are going on in my life. The theft of my home being the biggest one of them all, because as I've said so many times, that was my gift to be able to accomplish more of my ministry without being burdened and limited to the extent that I'm limited now. Anyway, folks, I don't know for sure about Donald Trump. As I said, he's an enigma. He's a mystery to me. I did not support him, but I have a lot of friends that do. But I definitely didn't support Hillary. I definitely didn't support Bill. I definitely didn't support George Daddy Bush or son Bush, and I wouldn't have supported the grandfather Bush. I forgot his name in this moment, but the one that came, George H.W. Bush's father, who was also a senator and also a dark player. Again, this is all part of the Rothschilds' plan to take over the world, and that's an evil agenda. We don't need a new world order where every nation is controlled by an elite establishment. We need a world of free nations that are able to be self-determining and non-interfered with and not controlled by some elite establishment that has a dark agenda. Is that not plain? It's plain to me. And I hope some of you, more of you, are seeing it. Thank you very much for listening, and namaste.